Hello fellow friends and followers, it's me RetroMania, and in today's video we will be talking about my top 25 favorite RPGs of all time. For the ones who are following me for a very long time know that I have already made a very similar video about my top 2015 favorite RPGs of all time. This is a very similar video, but I added new RPGs, I replaced some of the older ones, and this top list will definitely look much different than my older one from over 1 year ago. Keep in mind, this is my top list, not yours, so there will be only RPGs I love and adore and RPGs I have already played. So if there is an RPG you don't see and you love and adore, there is a very big chance that I have never played it. Because you cannot play every single RPG on planet Earth. There are so many amazing RPGs and so little time on this planet. And also, if there is one RPG you don't see on this top list and you love and adore, write it down below. Write your favorite RPGs right down below and I will read every single comment. And with this out of the way, why not we jump to my top 25 best RPGs of all time. Let's go! On place 25 we have Shadow Hearts, a very unique game from the PlayStation 2 library. It combines dark horror elements with a turn-based RPG game and with real-time action button presses. The unique horror atmosphere for a turn-based JRPG and the gripping narrative makes this an excellent choice for anyone looking for a very unique game from the PlayStation 2 library, and for this reason I placed Shadow Hearts on place number 25. And yeah, with this out of the way, why not we jump to the next game on my list. Let's go. On place 24 we have another classic from the PlayStation 1 library, Legend of Dragoon. Legend of Dragoon has a very weird look, very amazing look from the 80s and 90s. It's like an anime from the 80s and 90s and looks amazingly well. It has its own very weird and very amazing art style. For example, every environment it's pre-rendered. While for example the character you move around, it's not pre-rendered but rendered in real time. It adds this amazing and very weird look to it and I pretty much like it. It's really cool and really unique. Combat-wise, Legend of Dragoon it's very similar to Shadow Hearts, where we have real-time button presses to make more damage. I find in both Legend of Dragoon and Shadow Hearts very hard to press the buttons correctly, because I think these are very old games and I don't think this works unless you have a CRT TV. Still, these are very enjoyable games I would highly recommend. What I would also highly recommend, it's the next game on my list. So why not we see what awaits us next? Shall we? Monarch, it's a very controversial pick. I love this game so much. But what exactly is Monarch? Monarch it's a tactical strategy JRPG where you control puppets. These puppets are based on your emotions, on your ego. The whole game is structured around egos, what the ego tells about yourself, about your personality, about your emotions and so on. The game has a lot of plot twists and multiple endings, and each ending is important for the story. I don't want to spoil too much, but you need to play all endings, and trust me, once you play all the endings, it's so mind-blowing. But yeah, I will leave it at that. Most people didn't like this game because of the grinding. You need to grind a lot in this game, because later on the enemies will get really hard. So you really need to grind. Not a lot, but you need to grind a little bit. So if you don't like grinding, maybe this game it's not for you. But really the amazing story, characters and the fun gameplay, I really like the gameplay, and I really didn't mind the grinding because the gameplay is so fun. And for this reason, I placed Monarch so high on my list. And yeah, it's a game I would highly recommend. Another game what I would also highly recommend, it's the next game on my list. So why don't we jump to place number 22. Final Fantasy VII, the original, not the remake. And I can already hear you guys saying like blah why did you put this game on place number 22 and blah. And you know what guys, this is my top list, not yours, so shut the foe. And yeah, I still like Final Fantasy VII, it's an amazing game. It's not my favorite RPG, not my favorite JRPG, but still this is a classic worth checking out. And every game in this top list it's amazing, it's incredible. Even place number 25, even Shadow Hearts, it's incredible. You you need to play every single game in this top list. And yeah, I really don't think I need to waste any more time explaining Final Fantasy VII. I think most people know what Final Fantasy VII is, and I think most people know who Sephiroth is, who Cloud is, what it's about Final Fantasy VII, the plot and everything. It's an old game. If you don't know, play it, and yeah, it's an amazing game, yeah. And let's move on to place number 21. Last time I had Tales of Berseria in my top list, and of course at least one Tales of game needs to make the cut. And for this top list and for this video I choose Tales of Arise. I played Tales of Arise recently and I really liked it. I still love Berseria, make no mistake, and both games are amazing, but for a little bit of change I choose Arise. Arise, it's really good, play Arise. I still didn't play Tales of Symphonia, don't kill me, but if I did, maybe Tales of Symphonia would be on this top list. But because I didn't play it, I choose Arise. Sorry Symphonia fans. Either way, the Tales of series has some really good action-based JRPGs, and although action-based JRPGs are not my cup of tea, I need to admit the Tales of series, it's a true classic, worth checking out. What it's also worth checking out, it's the next game on my list. So why not we slash to place number 20. Oh yeah baby, top 20, let's go. On place 20 we have Chrono Trigger. Oh yeah, I already hear the screams. Well, I still liked Chrono Trigger even with some of the flaws I had with the game, some critique I have for the game, and again I think every single game in this top list deserves to be on this top list. Every game, it's amazing. This also goes for Chrono Trigger, but again I think there are better games than Chrono Trigger. I think the problem with Chrono Trigger is that you really don't know where to go next. What made me pull out an online guide every single time while playing this game. There is no way, no freaking way that I'm talking to every single one NPC until I meet one NPC what has the information I need where to go next. No. I'm not doing this. I'm not wasting time, I'm just pulling out a guide. Chrono Trigger has many problems in my opinion, but one problem what can be fixed with a remake or remaster, it's a simple orientation guide, so that the game tells you where to go next, because I'm not talking to every NPC. No. And I also think the interactions between characters could be better, the conversations, the character development arcs are fine. I think the character development arcs in Chrono Trigger are really good, but I think the relationship between the characters, it's really not that fleshed out, and they don't really feel like family, like true friends. Something like Grandia where every single character feels great. It feels great to be together, it feels amazing, it feels natural. Here, I don't know, it's like NPCs. It's like you have a group of NPCs. But let's say a couple of positive things about Chrono Trigger. I think the music is great. The music, it's incredible. Great music. I think the gameplay, it's really fun. And the art style, it's great. The character artwork, it's by Akira Toriyama himself. The guy, the legend who made Dragon Ball. And he also recently passed away, so F to Akira Toriyama. He's a legend and he will never be forgotten. And yeah, what else can I say? I think gameplay is fun, the music is great, the art style is great. But I still have some problems with Chrono Trigger what can be fixed in a remaster or remake, and I really hope this game gets a remake. And yeah, let's move on to the next game on my list. Let's go. Eternal Sonata, one of my favorites and a shining light during the dark age of JRPGs, the 7th console generation. The amount of JRPGs we got during the 7th console generation was laughable, and a lot of them were not even that good. But Eternal Sonata was a shining example during these dark times, that even during these dark times hidden gems will appear and save the day. But what exactly is Eternal Sonata? Well, Eternal Sonata, it's an action-based JRPG with a very unique system, where action, spell and attacks need time to cast, so healing, attacks, everything need time to cast, need time to be used. It's very similar to, let's say, Xenoblade Chronicles in terms of combat. So even though it is action, it ain't something like Tales of, it's totally different than Tales of. The game has a tactical strategy mechanic to it, but makes it very unique. The best part about Eternal Sonata, it's the story and the music, of course the music. The whole game it's based around music, everything it's about music. And the story it's based around a famous musician, pianist from our real world. What makes it very unique and very cool. The story is great, very tragic, very many plot twists, amazing writing, and yeah, if this is your cup of tea, why not check it out? And with this out of the way, why not we jump to place number 18? Let's go. Dragon Quest 11. You didn't think I would make RPG list, a RPG list of all time of best RPGs, and not include Dragon Quest, the grandfather of all RPGs. Of course Dragon Quest will be on this top list. I didn't play many Dragon Quest games, but I did play 11 and I really liked Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest 11 was so good. The story is very simple, but what sold me to Dragon Quest 11 was the charming art style, the cozy atmosphere, and the charming characters. The characters were great, every single one of them, and it's a really fun RPG to play. And also because it has Jade, I mean, it has Jade, do I need to say more? And yeah, I don't want to waste any more time, so why don't we jump to place number 17? Jane the Ark, it's a very unique game not many people heard about. It's definitely my favorite PSP hidden gem game, and a true hidden gem among hidden gems. Jane the Ark, it's a tactical strategy JRPG, what it's based on a real-life historical event, historical story of Joan of Arc, or called in French, Jane the Arc. Sorry for the bad French accent, I tried my best, but don't kill me, French people, so yeah. Of course, not every event it's one-to-one like the original story of Joan of Arc, Jane the Arc, but it's very similar, and the story is great, amazing writing, amazing storytelling, great art style, great music, everything is top-notch, and for this reason I placed it so high on my list. And with this out of the way, why not we jump to place number 16. On place 16 we have Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. This is another excellent turn-based JRPG based on the Digimon franchise, with an original story, new cast of characters, and some really good storytelling. Don't let the fact that this is a Digimon game deceive you. This is absolutely not a game for children. It's very dark, with some very heavy themes, a lot of fan service, and it's absolutely not a game for children. I mean, the game is rated T for teenagers and adults, so yeah. I grew up with a lot of anime shows like Yu-Gi-Oh!, Inuyasha, Dragon Ball, Naruto, One Piece, Detective Conan, Pokemon, and of course Digimon, and much more. And of course you change, grow up, get older, and you also want your show to grow up, get older with you, change, and of course not every show does that. For example, Pokemon doesn't do that, but if you always wanted your favorite show to grow up with you, to get older, to get more mature, more serious, then I think Digimon it's the perfect game for you. I mean, it's perfect. It's what adults like me wants from Pokemon but don't get it, but we get it with Digimon, so I think it's perfect. So if you always wanted a new, unique, fresh take on the Digimon formula, then this game will absolutely satisfy you. The next game on my list will also absolutely satisfy your need for a more mature RPG, so why not we jump to place number 15. Dragon Age Origins. This is a classic, a blast from the past, so to speak. This is an excellent RPG, an excellent action tactical RPG, where in the middle of the battle we can pause the battle, stop the battle, take a sip of our favorite tea or coffee, no shaming here, and think about our next move. The story and characters are incredible. You can choose between 6 different origin stories, and each origin story is different. It's unique, with a unique story, with a unique class, race, and each one is different. For each origin story character the dialogue changes, the story slightly changes. What it's mind-blowing considering this game came out in 2009. What happened to you, BioWare, EA? What have you done? You were once so amazing. I don't know what happened to you, BioWare, EA, but yeah, I mean, AAA, it's not AAA anymore. I mean, I remember a time when AAA meant something, but nowadays Yikes. But yeah, this is by far BioWare's best game, and if you didn't play it, I would absolutely recommend to check it out. It's a classic. And with this out of the way, why not we jump to place number 14? Let's go. Octopath Traveler 2. I never played the first game, but I loved Octopath 2. I really loved the second game. It's an excellent HD 2D classic JRPG with a very unique spin. You play as 8 travelers. That's why the game is called Octo. Octo like 8 and Path like Path of the 8 travelers, and well, Traveler because they travel. I mean, yeah. And each of the 8 travelers has a very unique skill ability only they possess. So each traveler plays slightly different, slightly unique, what I really appreciate. One traveler is a monster tamer and monster summoner, so pretty much a Pokemon trainer. The other one has a very unique overpowered fusion ability where you can fuse multiple elixirs, multiple herbs and get an explosion of benefits. And there is also an assassin who can act 2 or 3 times on the same turn and so much more. The unique visuals blending modern with retro, the distinguishable gameplay for each traveler and the very unique stories each traveler has to tell makes this an absolute gem worth checking out. But it's also worth checking out, it's the next game on my list, so why not we jump to place number 13. The Witcher 3, do I need to say more? I mean, this is a classic. Everyone knows about Witcher, and this is one of the best Western RPGs ever made. The Witcher uses a very unique system. Every time you make a decision, NPC dialogue changes, quest changes, the overall perception of you changes. The entire Witcher world reacts to your decision. Every decision you make has a reaction, and I really liked it. The Witcher uses the good and the evil system many old RPGs use. In fact, Dungeons and Dragons invented this system. It's called the alignment system. But I don't want to go too deep into this because it's very complex and I don't have 2 hours of time, so yeah. Anyways, if you are in search for a well-crafted RPG, where every decision you make has an impact on the overall story and dialogue of NPCs and how the world perceives you, then this game is absolutely for you. It's a great game, worth checking out. What it's also worth checking out, it's the next game on my list. So why not we jump to place number 12. Scarlet Nexus, it's definitely one of my favorite hack and slash JRPGs, and it's truly a shame how underrated this incredible game actually is. Each character has its own unique, beyond human skills. Imagine it like superhero powers. So each character has its own superpowers, and the main protagonist gets a device, a very unique device, that lets you connect with your team members, and then you can use each of their abilities for yourself, and you can switch between them. So you can switch between every single ability of your team members. Of course, you also have your own abilities. Your ability is telekinesis, so with your mind you can move objects around, so that's a pretty cool ability. Plus you can also use all the other abilities from your team members. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. At the beginning of the game you can choose between 2 main protagonists, a male and a female, and both characters are interconnected to the overall story and ending of Scarlet Nexus. So if you want the full experience you need to play both paths, but honestly even if you play one path it's enough if you ask me, but if you want the full story you can play both paths. It also gives the game more replayability and I really liked it. The story of Scarlet Nexus goes in some really crazy weird directions and I really like it, but it really goes some really crazy directions where you need a second to process the craziness of Scarlet Nexus. But do you know what isn't crazy? That we are moving to place number 11, so why don't we see what awaits us next, shall we? Atelier Sophie 2, a very charming and cozy JRPG with incredibly relaxing and charming music and some of the nicest character interactions I have ever seen. The story is very simple and predictable, but you are here for the characters, for the character interactions, for the character development moments. The characters are absolutely the selling point for Atelier Sophie 2 and probably for most of the other Atelier games as well. The characters, the charming atmosphere, the relaxing music, the relaxing atmosphere. If I need to choose a world I want to live in a JRPG world I want to live in, it's probably the Atelier world, because let's be honest here, every other JRPG world it's very dangerous. Where Atelier games are usually very charming, very safe, very cozy, very colorful, very attractive, and yeah, very attractive indeed. And yeah, I mean, it's a game I really want to live in, so yeah. Atelier Sophie 2 has a world I could spend hundreds of hours in. It's such an amazing world. And the next game on my list, it's also a very cozy and charming game. So why don't we jump to the next game on my list? Let's go. Paper Mario and the Thousand-Year Door, it's an excellent turn-based RPG with quick time events, where you need to press certain buttons to do more damage, to block attacks, or to get extra bonus effects. Funny enough, on my previous video almost 2 years ago, I also had Paper Mario the Thousand-Year Door, and back then we didn't have a remastered or remake version of this game on modern platforms. Now we have the remastered remake version on Nintendo Switch, and now you have no excuse not to play this masterpiece. Sadly, the next game on my list didn't get a remastered or remake port, and it's also an amazing game, but definitely deserves one. So why not we slash to place number 9. Radiant Historia, it's a game that absolutely needs and deserves the remastered or remake treatment. The game has, like Chrono Trigger, a time travel mechanic, but it's only focused on 2 timelines. And one decision on one timeline can impact also the other timeline. It's very similar to, let's say, The Witcher 3, where each decision has an impact. So each decision has an impact on the overall story, what helps with the replayability of this game. Radiant Historia uses a mix of turn-based and tactical RPG gameplay, where character position matters. The music is incredible, the story has many plot twists, and it's about honor and betrayal, about war for survival and resources, and in my opinion, the beta Chrono Trigger. So if you like Chrono Trigger, this might be your cup of tea. And yeah, let's move on to the next game on my list. Let's go. On place 8 we have SMT4, in my opinion the best 3DS title, my favorite one. While Radiant Historia, the game before this one, it's my second favorite game on the 3DS, and I think both Radiant Historia and SMT4 need a remaster or remake on modern platforms. And both are made by Atlas. What are you doing, Atlas? Go bring these 2 games on modern platforms. What are you doing? These 2 are amazing games what absolutely deserves a remaster or remake on modern platforms, so that everyone can experience peak. But what is exactly SMT4? SMT4, it's a turn-based JRPG where you walk around in third person, but battles are held in first person. And honestly, I don't mind it. I personally prefer this style over first person everything, like dungeon crawlers, where even when you walk in first person. Here you don't walk in first person, but in third person. What I also prefer. Also the story, the characters, everything. The story was so amazing. One of the best written stories in JRPGs. And so many crazy plot twists and amazing art. The art it's amazing, and the music, oh my god, the music it's insane. And yeah, by far the best SMT in my opinion. I played so far SMT3, SMT4 and SMT5, so 3, 4 and 5, so pretty much the new age trilogy. I did play 1 and 2, but I really love these 3 games. But my favorite, by far, it's SMT4. SMT4, true masterpiece. And honestly, if you didn't play it, go play it. What you should also go play, it's the next game on my list. So why not we jump to place number 7. Fire Emblem Three Houses, one of my favorite strategy JRPGs and definitely my favorite Fire Emblem game. I played so far Fire Emblem Three Houses, Fire Emblem Engage and Fire Emblem Awakening. I do plan playing more Fire Emblem games in the future. I loved Three Houses, and I think the art style, the more darker colors, the more medieval setting, medieval atmosphere, really fits the war atmosphere and the war setting of Fire Emblem, and I think it fits the series as a whole. I think Engage didn't really fit the series with a more colorful art style and with more anime tropes, but I think Three Houses definitely fits the atmosphere, themes and everything what Fire Emblem stands for. I think Fire Emblem Three Houses found a perfect balance between anime storytelling, Japanese anime storytelling, and Western atmosphere, Western setting. The setting it's more of a European medieval style setting, but I really like it. The medieval style, the medieval atmosphere, but the storytelling it's clearly Japanese, clearly Eastern orientated, and I really liked it. I think the story it's great, the atmosphere it's amazing, the great music, the great atmosphere, the music is just the music it's incredible. The gameplay it's fun, everything. I mean, Three Houses, I think everything in Three Houses it's perfect. And this is the reason why I think Fire Emblem Three Houses absolutely deserves a place on this top list. The next game on my top list also absolutely deserves a place on this top list. So why not we jump to place number 6. Persona 3 Reload. Last time, if you remember, I had the original Persona 3 FES from the PlayStation 2 as my pick, but now we got the remake version, what took everything from the original and added new things, new gameplay mechanics, better graphics, better animations, better music in my opinion, but the music in the original was also really great, really amazing. Everything is so amazing, even the new voice cast I really liked. I think the new voices really fit the characters and are really amazing. And also this year we will get episode IGs, what is also the answer from Persona 3 FES, and this will absolutely make this version the definitive version for Persona 3. Anyways, let's move on from one masterpiece to another masterpiece. So let's jump from place number 6 to place number 5. Top 5 baby, let's go! On place 5 we have Astral Chain, a very underrated Nintendo Switch exclusive and in my opinion one of the best hack and slash JRPGs I have ever played. This game and Scarlet Nexus are true measurements how action-based JRPGs can evolve, innovate and improve and become something truly special. In Astral Chain you technically control two characters at the same time. Yes, somehow they made it possible to control two characters at the same time while using the Switch Joy-Cons. Yes, Joy-Cons. Somehow, I don't know, it's witchcraft. It's literally witchcraft at the finest. The controls feel so good and so accurate, and the combination moves are so well done and so insane, and you can switch between multiple legions. Legions are these machine puppets you can control, and each legion has its own unique abilities and moveset. They even have a skill tree and you can even customize your legion to your liking. Also each side quest feels very important and the graphics are also very nice for a Switch game. For a Switch game the graphics and animations are very amazing and I think this is one of the best games on the Nintendo Switch. If you have a Nintendo Switch this is a no-brainer. If you like detective investigation games and if you like JRPGs, this game it's a no-brainer. But it's also a no-brainer I can recommend, it's the next game on my list. So why not we slash our way out from place number 5 to place number 4? Let's go! Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Last time I had the first Xenoblade game on my top list and honestly it was a really hard decision between the first game and the third game. But I chose the third game because the third game is technically better. But I like the first one more, so it was a very hard decision. And make no mistake, even the second game it's really good. I don't want to put the second game down, I just like the first one and the third one more. But that's also my opinion, you can have your own opinion and that's fine. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, it's an action-based JRPG with a similar combat style to Eternal Sonata, where every action takes time to be executed. So you need to calculate your next move, how long it takes to cast an attack and spell, then you need to look at your HP, the HP of your allies, see who needs heal, who doesn't need a heal. In Xenoblade Chronicles 3 you can also switch between characters in combat, what wasn't possible in the previous games. If I remember correctly, Xenoblade 3 has a much much bigger cast of characters, and it's so amazing. You also have a transformation mode, where your characters can transform into an Ouroboros. Each Ouroboros has a unique skill and ability, and even his own skill tree. The incredible music, the amazing gameplay, and honestly one of the best story writing I have ever seen. What made me fall in love with this series, the incredible story writing, and the romantic relationships are so well written, so amazing. The romance in this game is so amazing, and the end game and the end scene made me so cry, so amazing, so emotional, and so... you need to experience it. Amazing work from Monolith Soft, like always. And now we are switching from one amazing game to another one. Are you ready, guys? Let's do it. Let's go, baby. Triangle Strategy, so far my favorite tactical strategy JRPG I have ever played. A true masterpiece. The gameplay, the writing, the story, the music, everything was just perfection. In my opinion, the HD 2D engine and art style truly shine in Triangle Strategy, because it's a tactical grid-based game, and I think the art style truly fits and shines in this game, because it gives off a vibe that each character is like a chess piece, you are moving around. And to be fair, it's not far off from the truth, because the story in Triangle Strategy truly resembles that of a chess game. What I mean with that, it's that the game and the story has many plot twists, many betrayals, and like a chess game, your goal is to win and take the life of the king. And it's very similar in Triangle Strategy. The story kinda reminds me of Game of Thrones, at least the first seasons of Game of Thrones, when the show was good and at its peak. So if you are interested in many political betrayals, many hard decisions what will impact the course of the action of the story, and you enjoy some epic tactical strategy gameplay and epic medieval music, then this game might be your cup of tea, like it was my cup of tea. And the next game on my list, it's also a game what might not be everyone's cup of tea, but a game I love and adore. So why don't we jump to place number 2. Grandia, Grandia, Grandia. Last time Grandia was on my place number 1, this time it's on place number 2, still very respectable place, and a game I love and adore, to the teeth. Grandia, for you uncultured people, it's a turn-based JRPG with a very unique magic fusion system. Each magical skill and ability can be upgraded, can be fused to create a new one, a much stronger and much more unique new one. The story is very touching, and the game has some of my favorite character and character development moments in all of gaming. Also the character interaction moments, how they come together, help each other out, share stories, memories, it's so heartwarming. Sadly, in today's video game industry, we don't get this type of games anymore. That's probably why many gamers switch to retro gaming. And the music, oh my god, the music was incredible. I mean, this is a masterpiece, worth checking out. But it's also, in my opinion, a masterpiece, what has not so many flaws and what really deserves a place on this top list on place number 1, the game what deserves the first place, the gold medal. It's the next game on my list. So why not we see what game took the crown? So let's jump to place number 1. On place 1 we have a series what easily took to place number 1 for my JRPG series, for my favorite JRPG series. A series what it's so amazing and what took the golden crown. It's Trails. And the game I picked for this video is Trails in the Sky SC, aka second chapter, the second game from the Sky trilogy. It was a hard decision between Trace in the Sky SC, Trace to Azure and Trace into Reverie for the place number 1. And here you have my tier list what I made couple of months ago, so that you get a picture of which Trace games I prefer the most. I also made a 30-minute video about my Trace journey, and I really liked my Trace journey, the game, and you can also watch the 30-minute Trace journey video even if you didn't play the games, because I split the video into spoiler-free and spoiler segments, so that you can watch it, so even if you didn't play the games you can watch it. And because I made this large 30-minute video, I'll make this part very short. Trace is a tactical strategy turn-based JRPG where character position matters. The main appeal of the series is the amazing story writing, connections, every game is connected, the world building, the lore, the reappearing characters what can reappear many games after. Yeah, it's amazing, and the game is split into many arcs. For example, the Crossbell arc, the Sky arc, the Cold Steel arc. Each arc has 2 or 3 games, but some arcs also have 4 games, like for example Cold Steel, and so on. And you also have epilogues, but that's a different story. This series it's a huge time commitment, but trust me, the time commitment pays off so much. It's a time commitment well worth your time. The political decisions would carry over from one game to another, the political decisions by kingdoms, by nations, the history, the world building, what happened 1200 years ago, why did the goddess bestow the 7 Septarians to humans, all the reappearing characters, what it's always hype. Imagine you don't see a character for like 10 games and then he comes back. It's so hype. It's always hype when you see a character reappear again. To make you understand how big this actually is, imagine if for example Kratos from God of War never reappeared again in the reboot. Let's say his son took the role and we never see Kratos again, and then 2 or 3 games later in the reboot he appears, Kratos reappears out of nowhere and you are like, oh my god, it's Kratos, oh my god, he's back! And that's the hype level I'm talking about. That's why Trails its peak, and it's absolutely a reason why you should play them in order, if you can play them in order. I don't want to touch the subject again, but trust me, if you can play them in order, please play them in release order, in Japanese release order. So first Sky, then Crossbell, then the Erebonia Cold Steel arc, and then play Trace through Daybreak. And this is the reason why the Trace Kiseki series reigns supreme over all other JRPG series. Because what Trace does, only Trace does. No other JRPG series even tries to do what Trace does. Falcom took a huge risk by pretty much quote-unquote forcing you to play all the games. You don't need to play them, but you kinda need to play them. I already explained, but I will say this, you don't need to play them immediately in order. Play one game and if you like it, even if it's a newer game, go back and play the older games, but please play the older games, because that's the whole appeal of Trace. To have all the context, to have all the characters reappear, the world building, the lore, everything comes together, it's amazing. And yeah guys, here you have it. These were my top 25 favorite RPGs of all time. Do you agree with my top list or do you disagree? Let me know in the comment section down below. And with this out of the way, I wish you all a wonderful day. Sayonara my good old RPG friends. Bye, and bye.